The pillow still holds the warmth of the night, but the chest already wakes up tight, as if the day has begun in the middle of an invisible battle. The body gets up, keeps schedules, answers messages, handles responsibilities, while inside there is a silent cry for help that no one hears. Smiles are given, conversations happen, tasks get done, but the soul whispers exhaustion in a language few can understand. Lord, you know this hidden place within us, that space where strength feels too thin, where thoughts pile up, where emotions weigh more than obligations. You are not surprised by our limitations. You are not alarmed by restrained tears or by faith that sometimes trembles. On the contrary, it is right at this fragile point that your presence draws near with even greater tenderness. The world calls strength the ability to handle everything alone, to show no weakness, to never stop. But your way is different. The strength that comes from you is not loud, does not display outward toughness, and does not demand performance. It sustains from within. It is an invisible support that keeps the heart from collapsing when everything around feels unstable. It is a firmness born from the certainty that you remain present, even when nothing changes on the outside. Father, there are days when the mind feels overwhelmed and the heart exhausted. Still, your joy, not shallow excitement, but deep security, begins to spring up like a root in dry ground. And that joy becomes strength, not because the problems disappeared, but because your presence changes the way we walk through them. Where fear tried to rule, your peace begins to take space. Where discouragement was loud, your hope starts breathing within us. If this message has reached your heart today, write in the comments, "My strength comes from the Lord." When pressure increases, the first human reaction is almost always to run, fix, control, and look for quick answers. The soul goes into defense mode, as if everything depended only on personal effort. But Lord, you teach us a path that seems strange to those who live in a rush, trusting while waiting. It is not folding our arms, it is placing the heart in your hands while the feet remain obedient. Waiting on you is a daily act of surrender. It is saying, I don't understand everything, but I choose to rest in your faithfulness. While the world demands immediate solutions, you work in the depths where eyes cannot see. You restore what fear has worn down, strengthen what pressure tried to break, and lift those who thought they had no strength left to continue. There are areas of life that human effort cannot reach. We can organize schedules, plan steps, seek resources, but the inner life only finds balance when it is sustained by you. When your word says, "You are the strength of the heart," it reveals a care that goes beyond the visible. You keep standing what no one sees, thoughts, emotions, quiet faith. Even when everything looks normal on the outside, it is inside that your power is working most deeply. Father, teach us to exchange the weight of control for the lightness of trust. The burden of having to handle everything begins to fall when we understand we were not called to carry the world, but to walk with you. The need to prove our worth fades when we remember we are already loved. Instead of anxiety over results, a healthy dependence is formed, one that recognizes you work better than any rushed effort. The more the heart surrenders, the more room you have to act. Surrender does not weaken us. It positions the soul under your care. And there, even without understanding every process, peace begins to rule. If you choose today to trust more and control less, write, "I rest in God. There are days when the greatest battle is not in the bills, responsibilities, or people around us. It happens in the mind. Thoughts collide, old memories return without warning, frustrated expectations make noise, and the heart feels the impact of all of it at once. Motivation decreases, faith feels quieter, and the soul risks feeling drained. Many think they are failing spiritually in these moments, when in reality they are simply feeling the weight of being human. Lord, you do not reject those who come tired on the inside. You do not require perfect emotional stability to offer your care. On the contrary, it is in the middle of this inner confusion that your presence reveals itself as shelter. What separates those who collapse from those who remain standing is not a life without pain, but your life beating within them. Your presence becomes a firm point when everything feels unstable. Pain may touch, but it does not rule. Sadness may visit, but it does not receive permanent residence. Pressure may surround, but it does not define the end of the story. When your hand sustains, the limits of the battle are set by you, not by the problem. The attack comes, but it has no permission to destroy. Doubt appears, but it does not take control of destiny. The blow happens, but it does not write the final chapter. Jesus, you do not watch suffering from a distance. You draw near, surround, and strengthen. When the heart thinks about giving up, your grace whispers to keep going. When natural strength runs out, your power becomes clearer. When the environment feels hostile, your protection rises like an invisible wall around the soul. Faith in you becomes an inner anchor. Even if everything shakes on the outside, something remains firm within, not because of logic, but because of the certainty that you are still in control. That security changes the way difficult days are faced, not because the battle disappears, but because the heart is no longer alone in it. If this truth strengthens you today, declare, Jesus sustains my heart. When everything around seems out of place, the heart looks for points of security, something that does not change, something that does not fail. News shifts. People fluctuate. Situations transform from one day to the next. But above every instability, the Lord remains attentive, steady, unshaken. Nothing escapes his sight. No detail goes unnoticed. While we see only parts of the story, he sees the whole picture. Father, this truth brings rest to the weary soul. We are not drifting by chance, nor at the mercy of coincidences. Your hand continues to guide even when we don't realize the paths are being adjusted. When someone stumbles, you do not point out the mistake with coldness. You reach out your hand. When strength fades, you supply. When the mind grows confused, your light begins to bring clarity little by little. Your presence does not depend on easy days. You are still God in uncertainty, in silence, and in waiting that feels too long. And while we think nothing is happening, you are already protecting, delivering, and aligning circumstances we cannot yet see. How many times have we been guarded without knowing it? How many times was danger stopped before it ever reached us? True security does not come from human control, but from complete trust in you. When the heart understands this, fear loses strength. Anxiety begins to give way. Faith grows more solid, less based on what is seen and more rooted in who you are. You reveal yourself as refuge, fortress, constant sustainer. Even on difficult days, we are not alone. You guard through the night, renew in the morning, and walk with us throughout the day. Your faithfulness does not waver. Your love does not run out. Your care does not fail. Even when no one notices, you continue working behind the scenes of our lives with precision and devotion. If you receive this assurance today, write, God takes care of me in every detail. There are seasons when the greatest weariness does not come from the outside, but from what keeps spinning inside the mind. Decisions feel heavy, doubts echo, and peace seems to slip away through racing thoughts. In moments like these, the soul does not need more pressure. It needs direction and rest. And this is where the Lord reveals himself as the one who brings order to the inside when everything feels confused. God is not the author of disorder in the mind. His voice does not push toward despair, does not feed chaos, does not magnify fear. He leads with firmness and gentleness at the same time. When the heart chooses to trust, even without understanding everything, something begins to align internally. The noise softens. Anxiety loses intensity. The soul starts to perceive the Spirit's guidance more clearly. Trusting does not mean having all the answers, but accepting that the Lord knows the full path. He gives wisdom for today's step. He illuminates decisions, corrects routes, closes doors that would bring pain, and opens paths we could not foresee. Even when the future seems covered, direction for the present becomes secure in his hands. The peace that comes from Christ does not depend on resolved problems. It rules even in the middle of unfinished situations. That peace guards the mind against destructive thoughts, protects the heart from overwhelming fear, and sustains faith when doubt tries to grow. Where the Lord reigns, chaos does not stay in control. When the mind surrenders to God's truth, trust strengthens, fear loses ground, and hope breathes again. Perspective changes. The problem may still exist, but it no longer sits on the throne of the heart. The Lord begins to govern the inside, bringing emotional balance and spiritual strength. If you need this peace today, declare, the peace of God rules my mind. Some battles arrive without explanation. They change plans, disrupt expectations, and test faith deeply. The heart asks, why? The mind tries to build answers, but understanding does not always come right away. Even so, no pain is wasted in God's hands. What seems like only an obstacle may be becoming an instrument of growth, strengthening, and inner transformation. For those who choose to trust the Lord, no process is empty of meaning. Even when everything looks still on the outside, the inside is being shaped. God works behind the scenes, adjusting circumstances, molding character, deepening faith. Waiting that frustrates also builds. Silence that worries also strengthens. Difficult seasons also prepare us for something our eyes cannot yet see. The Lord knows the right time to act visibly. Until then, he sustains invisibly. Many see delay. God sees preparation. Many feel abandonment. God is aligning details. Many think nothing is happening. Heaven is moving with precision. The heart that continues trusting, even without complete answers, grows in spiritual strength. Believing that all things work together for good is not ignoring pain, but recognizing God's sovereignty over it. He turns tears into lessons, pressure into maturity, challenges into testimonies. What feels heavy today may one day be remembered as proof of the Lord's faithfulness, sustaining every step. No situation has the final word over the life of someone who belongs to God. He rewrites stories, restores what seemed lost, and opens doors at the right time. His faithfulness does not fail. even when our vision is limited. Trust does not remove the process, but it ensures we do not go through it alone. If you are facing something difficult, declare in faith, God is working even when I can't see it. Now the heart grows quiet before God, not because it has all the answers, but because it recognizes who He is. Lord Jesus, holy, faithful, and powerful, nothing compares to your authority. No situation escapes your rule. Even when the world seems confused, you continue to reign sovereign, just, and full of love. Your sovereignty does not shift with circumstances, and in that truth the soul finds stability. Today we place before you everything that weighs on us, silent worries, fears that tried to grow, thoughts that stole peace. Nothing is too small for your care, nothing too big for your power. You know every inner battle, every hidden need, every tear no one saw. And still, your love remains constant, patient, sustaining. We declare that fear will not rule, anxiety will not dominate the mind, and confusion will not have permanent space. May the peace of Christ cover our thoughts. May the Lord's rest surround our hearts. May God's presence fill homes, decisions, and paths. May invisible chains be broken, old burdens be removed, and faith be strengthened by your Spirit. Jesus, strengthen the weary, renew the discouraged, lift up those who thought of giving up. Be refuge in difficult days, direction in choices, hope when everything feels uncertain. Our trust is not in circumstances, but in you, unchanging, faithful, eternal. Into your hands we place the present and the future, believing that all things work together for the good of those who love you. May your presence surround, protect, and lead. May this certainty stay alive within us. You are the same yesterday, today, and forever. And in this truth, the heart rests. If you agree with this prayer, write, I fully trust in the Lord. Amen.